Oh man, what a day. What a day. All right. I think we're ready to get started. What's good, world? How y'all doing? Welcome to the Junkyard. I'm a donkey. Oh, jeez. Let's do that over. We got to record this at some point. I actually don't think I'm uploading this video because this video is going to be really tough. This is going to be one of the toughest streams I ever did. But welcome to the Junkyard. I'm a junkie addicted to combos. If you've been here before, welcome back, my friend. If you're new here, yes, you heard that right. I'm an addict, but I ain't addicted to no drugs and nothing like that, okay? I'm addicted to doing the most juiciest, most damaging combos in all of your favorite fighting games. Normally, we doing the most damaging and juicy combos on this thing right here, right? Normally, we got this thing in our hand, okay? And we getting it cracking. We making, trust me, we making it do what it do. But we've put down a controller and we've replaced it with a keyboard, okay? So we swapped out our mode of attack. Instead of doing, damaging combos on video games, we want to see if we can do some damaging, juicy combos on some of these new web technologies. That's right. It's going to be a productive stream. We have been in the process of getting some real work done, and I'm excited on the progress we've made so far. Excuse me. I'm excited on the progress we've made so far, and let's actually go over what we've done, right? So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I hope you're having a good time. If you are, let me know by spamming those hearts in the chat. You heard me? All right, so let's dive in, right? So going back to our browser, and let me get my stage set because I've been told that I've been showing the wrong screen at times. So let me make sure my stage is set up real quick. Give me 1 second. All right, and then I think we need to be on the whiteboard. And okay, so just to recap where we are today, and we've gone over it so much since we started this series, since the beginning, right? So we've talked about this idea where we want to create a website, and we want it to be like a video game news website. So if we come over to our browser here, let's go actually to the browser stage, and let's take a look at IGN. This is a really good example of where we want to go with the website. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Get out of full screen mode. I'm gonna bump this to about 150. Yeah, I think 150 is good. So this is kind of what we wanted to make, right? We wanted to make a website that kind of felt like the IGN website, where you had an assortment of stories that made up this news website, this gaming news website, and those stories together kind of allow you to present these cool section fronts and story templates and things like that. One of the templates we know right off the bat that we'll need is this kind of idea of a story template, right? Where you have a title, a subtitle here, these things up here, these are tags. They dictate where the story appears on the site. I'm actually going to turn that chill audio down a bit. Give me 1 second. That is kind of loud in my ear. Don't need it to be up that high. It's better. Okay. So going back to our, man, just a sidebar, the King the Conqueror thing. That's also crazy. But so yeah, so we wanted to make ourselves a news website where one of the content types was this concept of a story. A story has things like a title, subtitle, beautiful featured art, some body copy, right? These are story elements, right? There's some rich text here, a beautiful photo gallery. Talked a little bit at the beginning about how awesome their photo galleries are. And then you can also interject other things like videos in line in your story body. And then obviously each story is going to be by a certain person. This is the byline. This is by a person called Jesse Shadeen. And this also is a template, right? So there's this concept of a person content type, and the person has a name, and it has a job title, and a location. He has social media, a handle or a nickname, a bio, etc. And this section should pull in all of the stories that this person has written. So you'll see that the writer of all of these is always going to be Jesse Shadeen, right? Either he may have done it himself, or you'll see his name and one other contributed to that story. And then last but not least, we had this concept of a tag, right? So these things up here, when you click on them, so basically what a tag does is it allows you to create content and then specify where on your website that content appears. So in this case, for example, Avengers the Kang Dynasty is a category or a tag that they have. So when I click this, I should see nothing but Avengers the Kang Dynasty content, right, for this site. So you can see here's a bunch of Jonathan Major stuff. This is a bunch of news going through kind of the Kang arc and some of the things that he's done. But it'll be all Kang the Conqueror content, right? So that's kind of what we've done up to this point, right? We've created ourselves, we have this idea to create ourselves a video game news website, and in order to do that, we knew we needed those three main content types, right? We needed a story, we needed a person that we could say the story was written by, and we needed some tags, right? So we could say where on the site the story belongs. And then within those content types, there were these smaller things that we were calling elements, right? These smaller blocks that make up those stories. So, for example, a tag consists of an image element, right? Because one of the things in all the tags is not just the title, but also an image, a beautiful image for the tags. And the same for the person, right? You can't have a person without a person's photo or his so his profile picture, right? As Facebook calls them. So we have those elements already built out. And I think today we're going to introduce probably one of the most challenging things that we have to solve, that we've had to solve up until this point. Now, I'm not going to say this is the most challenging thing we're going to have to solve, because that's just not true, right? This isn't the most challenging thing we're going to have to solve. However, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be doing what is easily the most challenging thing we've had to solve to date. Okay, and so let's just talk about that, right? So we have two goals for today, right? Two really kind of big picture goals. The first goal we have today is to go over to our Jira board and finish off this last ticket. Okay, this building story elements ticket. I'm actually going to move this ticket to the backlog, and I'm going to move another ticket in its place, which is going to be the second thing we do today. So after we finish building the story elements, we'll completely be done with our story content type. Yay us, right? Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to connect the NextJS engine to our Sanity content management system. And that way, what that's gonna allow us to do is essentially create our front end website to the content management system's data, so to the stories and the people and the tags, etc. So we have to connect those dots. So how do we do that, right? Actually, let's start by, before we even dive in, let's go to our backlog and let's groom this ticket, right? Let's actually groom this ticket. I think I already created it. So if we go to that's YouTube, that's person, DevOps. Yeah, here we go. We've already created the ticket. I'm going to move this up into the current sprint, and then I'm going to move that other ticket down. And you'll notice whenever you adjust the stories in a sprint, you get a warning of sorts. It's like, hey, before you do that, just know that you've already estimated how much work you're going to complete this sprint. If you move more work in, then now your estimation is going to be off, right? Because you estimated 16 points, let's say, and now there's going to be 19 points, so you have to take that into consideration. We won't need to worry about that. We are actually going to move this 3-point spike out, and that's going to give us that same warning, and we're going to increase these points to 5. So we are going to see some differences there. We're going to leave this as to-do items under the DevOps epic, and let's just click into this now and start hydrating it with requirements and a description. So to describe this ticket, right, what we'd be saying is we're going to use npm to download the latest NextJS package from the web. We'll then connect our existing Sanity.io application to the Next.js framework. Okay, and there's going to be some documentation we need to explore. This video is going to be pretty lengthy, and it's going to be all over the place. We're going to be doing a lot of diving and dipping and dashing and dotting, but I think it's going to be all in good fun. So let's see if we can make it happen. So now, like we did last time, after we have a ticket description, we got to give ourselves some acceptance criteria, right? What does it mean what does it mean for this ticket to be done? How can we sign off in full on this ticket, right? So I think the first thing is obvious, right? The code base has the NextJS library. Okay, so that's one item, and it's arguable that we should actually break that out into its own little ticket, where we have the latest Next.js code in the code base. But let's make sure that we don't. Actually, no, this is good. This is good because once we download Next.js, it's not enough to download it, right? The next thing we want to do is connect our Next.js instance to our local sanity.io instance. Okay, and it's not going to be local. It's actually going to be connected to our development server. There's a sanity.io development server that you need the credentials for and all that. So we'll have to connect that way. And then now for the AC3, we need to test that this is working, right? So we're going to need to create a test template to prove data is connected. And actually, even before that though, right? Even before we get to this step, before we get to the step where we're proving that the data is connected, we need to create a route to access Next.js and sanity.io from the same local web server. So we've been operating on port 3000 up to now. I don't want to change that. I don't want to have to say that we have to connect to port 2000 or 3001 for Next.js and then 3000 for sanity.io. Instead, I want to take a page out of that starter kit that we saw where they combine those two efforts, right? They basically did it in such a way where the code base had routes. One of them served up the sanity.io experience, and another route on that same server served up your front-end Next.js experience. We're going to try and pull that off. We'll time box that part of the project for a bit. I think the important things, though, that we need to make sure... You know what I'm going to do? This is going to be a bonus ticket. I mean, AC. This is going to be a bonus AC. Because I don't know for sure... Yeah, I'll say a bonus AC here, and we'll say ACB01, right? So bonus AC is we have these routes separated. Now, we may be so burned out by this time, by the time we get to this part of the ticket, that we might not have any energy to keep going, and that's totally fine. We can get back to this some other time, but I think for now, this is a good starting point. So let's go ahead, let's just call this the bonus criteria, and let's go ahead and do that, and then let's call this our description. Okay, so now we have a decent fleshed out ticket. We know what we're on the hook for this project. So we are going to knock out that story elements ticket as quickly as possible. I'm not going to spend too much time digging into that, but you know I love to talk, so you'll get an earful about what I'm doing. Of course, you'll understand what I'm doing, but we're not going to spend a bunch of time on that. We're going to quickly submit that PR, get that code merged into the main code base, and then it's off to figuring out the the Next.js library. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. All right, that was a lot. Let's dive in. So I am going to pull this story elements ticket out, and I want to create us a branch. We're going to branch from the latest development branch because remember last time we submitted the latest code back to main, and that means that develop and main should be in lockstep of one another right now. So we will, yep, I think it's going to be, yeah, next sanity clean, develop, yep, and this is it. So this is going to be us building the story elements. Let's go back to the ticket and just make sure that we understand what it's asking of us. So build the elements available per the outline here. That's going to be our document here, right? So build these elements out. These are the story elements here. I think we need to pull featured media into its own space. I don't know if we did that yet, but if we haven't, we'll do that as well. Each element can be added one or more times, so I should be able to add like as many videos as I want. I mean, sorry, as many media elements as I want, as many galleries as I want, etc. I should be able to do that throughout the story. And then each element can be added in any order I choose, and the order can be changed at any. Okay, so those are two ACs. Each element can be added in any order I choose, so you don't have to say add a video, then a photo, then a gallery. You know, you can put them in any order. And then I think AC4 here is actually trying to say the order of elements can be changed at any time. So you can imagine you publish a story, you should be able to come back and say, well, I want the gallery here now, or I want the text block here now, etc. So that's simple enough. We'll probably dip back in and out to make sure we have our ducks in a row there. But it looks like our branch was created. Let's head over to GitHub and check this thing out. So I'm going to come here. I'll copy that branch name. We'll head back over to our IDE. It's open this time. Last time we didn't have it open. So I think this is the right one. Yeah, Sanity latest. Yep, we got our story, blah, blah, blah. But that's good. So let's come here. The first thing we'll do is fire up our dev environment. We'll do npm run dev from here. Now this should give us the option to click on a little open browser window. Can't see it with my webcam in a way. Let me just close this real quick. But if I get rid of that, you'll see that we have this thing that we can just click open in browser, and it takes us right to the site, right? So it looks like we chose port 3333 this time. I think Sanity did that by default, which is fine. I don't really care. I'm actually gonna move this webcam down. Let's go to the browser. Let's do the same thing. Okay. What? Did that come back? I don't know which is which. Wait, if I do Control Z. Alright, so it's this small one. That's the one I just added. So I'm going to actually get rid of this. Apparently, this is the one that we had been using. I don't know where it went, though. That's so frustrating because I did take a lot of time to set those up perfectly. So anyway, let's get started. We'll go ahead and open our browser, and this should be our sanity.io stuff. Found two fields with the name slug and object. Okay, so it looks like we must have made a change in our from our last time that we worked on this. So I'm actually going to close this out because right now I want to see what branch I'm on. Looks like we are on the develop branch. So I'm going to do a git fetch because we want to switch to that new branch that I just created. We'll do a git checkout. We'll check out. Okay, so we switched our branch successfully, and it looks like it's complaining that something we did last time was not what's up, right? It wasn't good. Doesn't like it. Even though I know we did validate this last time. Found two fields with name slug and object. Tag document. So I think we have to come into the tag document, and I guess we have slug in here twice. Yeah, we do. There's two slugs in here. Okay, and this is just, they're duplicates, right? They're the exact same, so I don't know where this second one came from. We can just get rid of it. That's fine. We must have moved something around, and it caused an issue. So now if we go back to the browser, there we go. There's our beauty. Oh, no, that's not right. There we go. There's our beautiful site. Okay. So what were we doing? We were working on stories, right? So our goal, we have this beautiful Nicki Minaj story where, well, no, it's just her picture. But this is the skin from Call of Duty. That does kind of look like the Nicki Minaj story. Okay, so our goal is really simple. If we look at the kind of, hang on, let's flatten this out a bit. I'm starting to think that we need to better organize this. This is getting quite lengthy. I almost feel like one section of this story editing experience should just be the metadata, the title, the subtitle, the slug, and the description. And then another one should be the media, right? So just this featured media. And then another one should be, okay, so this should be metadata. Okay, so we'll call this first area content, which is title, subtitle, slug, and description. And then we'll create a media section, right? And then we'll create a metadata section, which is for authors and tags. So let's actually do that first. I'm not going to add that as an AC on the ticket I mean, maybe we should add it as a comment just to keep track of everything. So we'll go ahead and save that. And then what we'll do is we'll just say, decided the story editing experience was too lengthy. So introduced the following sections. Content, media, what did I say? Content, media, and metadata. Was it just those three? Back here to the UI. Content, and then media, and then metadata. Yeah, okay, so that's fine. So we'll go ahead and save that comment. And we are the product owner, so we know that we'll approve that change. No one can tell us that. Okay, so how do we group these? So there is a method. There's a feature in Sanity. I'm going to go to the documentation, though, because I don't know it by heart. But there is a feature that allows you to group things in Sanity. I think it's just called group. And I think you supply a group array at the top of the list. And then inside of each different form element, you pass in what group you want that element to belong to. So if we go schema, sorry, getting blown up. Okay, if we go schema and then we go, see if there's just something here for group. I don't know. Maybe it's in form. It can't be too hard. I think it's just title and I think it's just. Hang on. I think I'm gonna try and wing this, guys. I'm gonna try and wing this because I don't feel like digging too far into it. So I think what it is up here. There's a groups. Yeah, there's a groups, and then this is an array of objects, I believe. So then the first item is title, where this is what the tab name is in the browser. So we said we wanted one to be content, and then I think it's a name, right? The other is name. Yeah, so let's actually switch the order of that. We'll say name first. Name is going to be content, lowercase. And then the title. Actually, I don't think I need the title. Let's test that. We'll test this first, and then we'll say that the group that this belongs to is content. And this is a really intuitive system that they built. So I'd be really shocked if it's any more complicated than what I just did. So let's head back over to the browser and let's look at our UI. So I'm going to start using this again for our UI because that's a lot easier to find in the list of tags. So we'll go ahead and kill this tab and that tab. We'll kill that IGN tab as well. We'll kill GitHub. Yeah, we'll kill everything but our pin stuff. So, all right, now if we go to stories and we click on True Detective, I should see a content tab at the top, which I don't. Okay, so maybe I do need the word story. The title flag in there. So I'll do title. And that is going to be content. So let's see if that does it. We'll go back to the browser. You guys didn't see what I just did, but that didn't work either. Yeah, what I was hoping for is that up here there would have been a list of tabs. One that says, a tab here that says, wait, hang on. Am I in the right? Oh, that's why that's not working. Well, maybe it did work. Let's check tags. Here, let me show you what I did. When I go to the IDE, I look at what file I'm editing, and sure enough, it's not story. I'm editing tags. So we're going to go back to the browser and just confirm whether or not that worked. So I click on any tag, and now see if we have a content tab somewhere. Yes, we do, right? So now we have all fields, but we also have content. Now, of course, we don't want this here. Right, we want this on the stories. So I'm going to pull that out of what we just did on tag, doi. I'm going to pull that out. We do want to test this real quick, though. Let's just test this real quick, because if we can get out of the business of adding a title key here, then this will be a much shorter groups array. So I'm going to come back to the browser, let that refresh. Click tags, click any tag, and then let's see if content shows up. Yes, see, this system is so dope. We didn't even have to search. We didn't even have to peruse through the documentation for that. Like, we literally were able to figure out, based on how consistent this system has been for us, we were able to figure that out. Okay, so we'll go ahead and kill that from here. We'll get rid of that. And then let's go ahead and save tags. We don't need to do anything there. I think I see an error. No, we're good. Okay, so let's close that. That's going to have an update. Go ahead and close that. We don't need that. Not shared elements. We will be doing a lot with shared elements today, just not now. Story. Okay, so here we go. So we're back. Let's go ahead and flatten these out. Get these in the order that we want them in. They're already kind of in the groups order that we want them in. So that should be easy for us to do. We'll just do our groups array. It's going to be an object of name, content. That's going to be lowercase c because that's the machine name. This one is going to be media and then multimedia. And then we'll do one more when we add the references, but we'll do that at the end. Okay, so we need a comma there. And then now let's just go add all of our groups, right? So I'm going to uncomment out these valid. I told myself last time that I'd uncomment out those validation rules. We really need to keep those uncommented out because we want those to be a part of the actual system when we go live. Like we want those validation rules to kick off when people are adding content, like publishers are adding content. All right, so that looks good. Let's actually put group above of here. Any big chunk, we'll try and keep groups above. This is going to be the media group, right? And then this is going to be our metadata group. Boom. Metadata. All right, and then we just need to add this to tags, and then we'll at least be done with the organization of it. And you'll see that this makes it way easier. That's metadata. What the? Okay, there we go. Metadata. Okay, I'll go ahead and save that. We have an error here. I don't know why that's happening, but that comma wasn't required. This is just a weird thing with this. I don't know why. I think it has something to do with my IDE, but it keeps throwing false negatives here under some of these keys, which is so annoying because I keep going back and forth fixing them. But here's how I fix it. Here's how I fix it. Delete. Okay, re-add the comma. Done. Fixed. Like what? So annoying. All right, cool. Let's go back to the browser and let's test our work. So we just created a nice assortment of sections. So wait, going back to tags, we removed content. We don't want to sort this yet. We will organize this one as well, but not right now. That's not what we're doing right now. Okay, metadata is not defined. So let's go back over to the IDE. I believe I have a typo somewhere. Yeah, I have multimedia here. This actually should be metadata. Okay, pretty sure some of you guys caught that while I was doing it. Good job. All right, we'll go ahead and flatten these out. We don't want to see those, but now you can see how beautiful and organized this is. So if I go content, immediately I get a filtered version of that list. If I go media, there's no wait time either. As soon as I click it, it's ready to go. Then when I go metadata, boom. I'm only seeing my authors now. If I do, for whatever reason, if I'm crazy and I want to see every single thing at once, I can go here. But this is a much more easy to consume package of fields, right? So now let's get started with the main course, right? We want to work on the actual field that we came here to work on, which is going to be, and I'll put this in its own group as well. For now, I'll put it at the front of the list. This is going to be our elements. Okay, and this is where we're going to say that you can click some magic button and choose from a list of the available elements and then add them, populate the fields with data, and then they'll be added to your story, right? So let's go ahead and for now, we'll actually put the field where it belongs. I'm going to collapse all of these, and technically this is the last thing we'll have them do, but it should probably be in here somewhere. Like after you fill in your main metadata, so like after featured media, most likely, you would then start populating your story elements. So we're going to call this story elements, and we're also going to call the group story elements. And if this works anything like the other labels, we don't have to supply a title for this. The underscore will make it be proper name case with the space in between. So we'll test that as well. So let's just start out by defining our field. We know this is going to be an array field type because we want this field to be possible of storing more than one item in it, right? So it's going to be an array field type, and it's going to be a reference to something. It's going to be a reference to other field types, I think. So we'll use our own already defined field types to test it out. So let's first give it a name. It'll be story elements. Let's give it a type of array, right? Let's give it an array of, right? So what is it an array of? It's actually an array of type or is it an array of type object? Media is a good example. Oh, it's an array of the actual elements we want to populate it with. Okay, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. So let's break this out. And this is going to be exactly like that media one that we just saw. So type of image element. And I believe it needs a name. Let's see here. Does it need a name? Oh, an icon. We can optionally give it an icon. The field itself, I don't know if these are going to be fields. These are just going to be options that we're choosing from. So let's try image element and video element, which is exactly what we have in the other one. We know this is going to work, but this can kind of set the foundation to say that we correctly set this field up. Like we've correctly configured this field. So I'm going to go to our browser. We will collapse these. I don't know why these keep getting expanded. It's like it's not remembering that I have them collapsed. And right now it should just be at the bottom of the page. Here we go, story elements. But we don't want that, right? We want this to show up as the very first tab here. So we're going to go back to the IDE. And where we have story elements, we're going to add this to the group of story elements. So not only is the name of this going to be called the story elements, but the group is also going to be the story elements, and that's fine that those share a similar machine ID. Those are two totally distinct groupings or entities, right? One is the field and one is the group that the field belongs to. Totally fine for those to share a name. And now when we come back here, go ahead and collapse those. We can see story elements is the first thing to show up, and now we can easily click this whenever we go make a change. So now when I click add item, I can see image and video here. That's not what we want. Let's go back to our ticket, and actually let's go to our our content model and just make sure we have these. So here's what we want, right? We want media, text block, gallery, and CTA. So I'm actually going to pause here. Not the video, but I'm going to pause the updating of this story.ts file, .typescript file, and I'm going to go back into shared elements because this is where we want those types to live, right? So in here we already have our video element and our image element, and now we have 4 other types that we want to create, right? So I'm going to come here. I will go ahead and put these in alphabetical order. C, G, M, T. I think that's alpha sorted. Actually, if we're gonna really alpha sort it, right? We need to put this G comes before I. And then MTV. Yeah, okay, cool. So that's cool. And then now we can do an export const CTA element. It's equal to define ourselves a new type. And then now whatever's in here needs to kind of match the schema here. So we'll need this title, the type, and the name. So it's going to be the title is going to be CTA. And maybe I'll do call to action, and then maybe CTA can go in parens. We'll see what that looks like in the dropdown. CTA may be fine. We're going to call it a CTA element. Everything's going to be underscore element just to simplify us finding it. The type is an object, and then we have fields here, right? So if we go back to our browser, our CTA had some fields, see? We had some fields for our CTA, so we can just copy that. This will give us some direction in the IDE as to what fields to add. See, this is why it's really important for us to build those things out first, those content models, right? So I'm going to paste those in. Whoopsie. I'm going to paste those in. All right. And then I will comment these out because we know that we'll need to do some define fields for these. Not define fields, but we'll need to just define these fields. So, and yeah, they're going to be pretty much the same as this. I'll use some of the validation as well. But, so let's steal this. I'm not going to recreate this wheel. Um, Normally I do, but I really want to get through this portion. So let's go to description. I know we have a description somewhere. Nope. All right. So description is just going to be another object with a name of description. It's going to have a type. This is going to be one of our rich text fields. So it's going to be a type of array, and it's going to be an array of what? That's right. You guessed it. Blocks. Right. This is what allows it to get that HTML WYSIWYG surrounding it. And then we have a link field. This is another one that I'm pretty sure we've used this already, but maybe the only time we've used this is with the slug, right? So this is just going to be a traditional link field from the sanity.io system. So I'm going to call this a link, and the type is just going to be of URL, and we're going to see what that looks like. I don't know what that looks like, but I know there are some things that we can do to make this like a little safer. I wonder if we did it already on one of these. I kind of feel like we had to do this on something else, where we had to make not slug. I don't think it's necessary for slug, but we can go to the docs and actually I'm not gonna jump too far ahead on this one. I'm gonna pause here and go over to the browser so we could check the sanity docs and just see like when you're creating these URLs, like what are some handy validators to attach to these? Something that they may give us out of the box. So let's just go peruse through that really quickly. And we'll go to URL and we'll just see if they give you like, hey, you know, you should use it. Yeah, see, here we go already, right? And this is just like to allow more protocols than HTTP, HTTPS. You can do this. We don't need more protocols than that on it. Well, yes, we do actually. Actually, this is the perfect set of protocols for a CTA. The old school HTTP 4.0 HTTP protocol, then the secured one for not HTTP 4, HTML4, and then a secure one that got introduced in HTML5, Mail 2 for sending emails, and then Tail for making phone calls directly from your devices. Yeah, let's use all these. These are swell. So I'm gonna go head over to my IDE. And in here, I think validation is just a key that goes at the end of this object, right? We'll put our comma there and we're done. So link text is, I think that's going to come baked in link. So actually, let's pause there and go back to the browser and see what we have so far, because I believe that actually I have to go wire this up though. I have to go wire this up. So now that we have CC element at a place that we feel comfortable, let's go add it as one of these. So I'm going to keep the other two. I'll just add CTA element to the middle of the list. This will actually cross one of the other ACs off of our list, which is that we can add these in any order that we want. Let's go not to there. Let's go here, and let's actually start blowing these out. And I could easily just do all as here. I can, instead of doing that, I can do import. I can just say import all as, and then here I can say something like elements, right? And then here I can say elements dot image element, right? And then elements dot video element, and so on and so forth. So obviously we need an elements dot CTA element, and I am not a fan of doing it this way. I oftentimes feel like this is kind of the dirty way to do it, but it doesn't hurt us right now. This looks okay in my opinion. So I wish you could spread this. I wish you could do like dot 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 elements. I wonder if you can. Let me see. Maybe you can. Whoa. I don't know if that's gonna work. No, that's not gonna work. There has to be a way to spread this so I don't have to keep so I don't have to keep doing this every time I add an individual one. I haven't figured that out yet, but it's not as important right now, so we're not gonna worry about it. Okay, I think we're all wired up. Let's go back to the browser, hit our UI, and just see if we have any issues. All right, and there's our CTA form. There's our title, our description, and our link field. Yeah, but see, this is only a this is only a URL, right? We want to also say that there's a link text attached to this as well, and it could be optional, but we need to make a field group for this link object and make an optional title field here, or link text field. So we're close, right? So let's go back to the IDE. All right, let's go back to our shared element. Let's go to our CTA, and this time what we'll do is link will actually be an object, and it'll consist of fields, right? And that's going to be an array of other fields. The first one here is going to be the actual link, so we don't need, actually, yeah, let's do it. We'll do name, and the name of this field is link. Yeah, we'll do name here is going to be URL. It's going to be a type of URL, and it's going to have this validation rule attached to it, right? And then another field in this object is going to be the link text. So we'll do name link text, and then it'll have a type of string. We won't put this on its own line. This is just going to be a single entry object. And we may reuse this. I'll consider doing this more than once, but you can see kind of some reusability with this entire chunk, where there's a link element that we can keep patching into, so that instead of having to do all of this, right, we'll be able to just do this going forward, where it's just link element, right? And then that'll give us all that out of the box. But let's see how many times we have to do standalone links. I don't think it's going to be that many times that we have to do standalone links. So let's go back to the browser, see what that looks like. There we go, story elements. Let's go here, CTA. And there we go, right? So now we have link, and it has a URL field and a link text field. So that's good. I'm gonna put URL in all caps. So that one we may actually wanna tweak the title ourselves. So here we have a name of URL, but we can also do a title here, and we'll say the title is URL all caps. All right, let's go back to the browser. Just see what that looks like. Story elements. Add me a CTA. Yeah, it looks better. It looks better, right? There's some other things we can do here that we may want to consider, like attributes. So links do have attributes. They have things like, hey, do you want to open this in a new window, for example? That's an underscore target attribute. Sometimes they have alt text, but I think that the link text alone can get away with that, so I don't think it needs, I don't even know if a link has alt text. Yeah, so I think we're good on the attributes for now. Let's forget about those. So I do want to get rid of this, right? Because that's going to be an error. But now if we add a call to action, we can imagine that this requires a title. So this is going to say something like, hey, make sure you sign up for our newsletter. And then in the description, it'll say something like, in order to sign up, click the link below. New signups for the first week of February will receive 50% off of, I don't know, your next video game purchase. Who knows, right? Whatever the case may be. Okay, so, and I think this is just, yeah, I was going to say Grammarly's going to tell us that we're being too wordy here. So to sign up, click the link below. New signups for the first week of February will receive 50% off their next video game purchase. Okay, cool, right? Looks good. And then you say the link is something like, hey, well, click here is just going to go to like trendjunkie.com, which is our website / newsletter. And then it may have some kind of like question mark promo code equals first week Feb, right? That might be a promo code. And then it's like click here, right? So then boom. So now we have a CTA. It looks crappy, right? We'll fix the preview, but we have a CTA element now, right? That looks good. Okay, so let's move on to the other content types that we need to make. All right, we've created our CTA. Oh, we haven't finished the CTA. Oh, yes, we have. CTA's done. Okay, CTA is done. Oh, we're moving on to a really difficult one, actually, which is the photo gallery. That's actually going to be one of the harder ones. So let's get started. Export const image, gallery element is equal to define type. right? And then in here, we'll do our list of meta data that we need. So those three, these are going to kind of be our repeat offenders. So the title of this is going to be gallery. The name is going to be gallery element. It's going to be a type of object, and it's going to have fields, right? And then now it's going to be an array of fields, and we can go over to the browser and just grab from our data model what fields we said should be in a gallery. And all we said was a gallery is not going to have any metadata of its own. It's just going to be an array of images. I disagree with that now. I think a gallery should come equipped with at least a title and a description. Okay, so we'll give this gallery a title and a description, and then we'll make it an array of images. Okay, so let's just do that. It's going to be title, description, and then images plural, right? And that's going to be a really interesting form that we're going to build there. So for a title, we'll say that you can't make a gallery without a title. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll just steal that from here. For the description, it's the same thing as last time, right? We have a name of description, we have a type of array, and then we have, it's an array of what? Say it with me, type of blocks, right? So now that gives it that rich HTML, kind of rich text editing experience. And then images is going to be a little tricky, right? So images is going to be an array of images, but it's going to use our image elements, so we don't have to recreate the wheel a million times. So it's going to be exactly like what we did here, right? So we're going to say name, and this is why it's so awesome to have shared elements, guys. We're going to say name of images, plural, okay? It's going to be a type of image element, no, array, sorry, array. And it's going to be an array of, okay, it's going to be an array of a type of image element. So we haven't done this before where we're leveraging these shared resources this way, but this is oh wait, this isn't even in an object. What are you doing? All right, we have to tuck that in an object. That does not work standalone, but this is the first time we've done this, right? We created our own image element up here, wait, down here, image element. This is something we created from scratch. Okay, we said that each individual image needs a title, an image title, a photo, some alt text, and caption. And it has a little cute preview. We're saying that now we have a gallery that's going to have a bunch of these. So we can add 7 images, but our overarching parent, this container, the gallery itself, is going to have its own unique title, right? Its own unique description. So let's see what that looks like. Let's head back. Oh man, did I just do all? Oh, I hate when I do that. I just created that. I gotta get better at switching between these screens, because repeating this stuff when I'm editing the video and then having to go to the end and then shift everything around, it's so weird. So you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pretend that I never did this yet, so that I'll just at least have footage of me creating the array. So we'll do name of images. So we've already created the title and the description fields. So we'll do a name of images, a type of array, and an array of a type of image element, right? The image element that we'd already created as one of our shared elements, right? So cool that we can do that. And then I think galleries will need their own, they're just going to use icons. I don't think I'm going to do previews, but these are going to have nice rich previews. So here's that image element that we're just going to use this inside of this, right? So we're piggybacking on something we've already created because we know that a gallery is nothing but a bunch of image elements, right? So now when we go back to our browser and we come over to the studio, now let's go ahead and actually create ourselves a gallery using some fake content, right? So I'm going to say here, oh, gallery hasn't been wired up, right? So there is no gallery here. We have to wire gallery up. So let's go back to the IDE. There we go. Let's go back to the IDE. And this is the gallery element. So we have to add that to the index. So I'm actually going to, maybe I'll change this to L. So it's more like kind of bootstrap, you know? Or maybe it's something like underscore L, and it's lowercase, right? Underscore L. So it denotes that it's one of our system resources. I'm gonna play around with that as we go along tonight, guys. Sorry for the confusion if there is any, but it's gonna drive me crazy that this isn't like a little more legible, like easy to read. So I'm gonna keep playing around with it as we go, but I guess that's fine for now. So we have gallery element now wired up. We shouldn't need to touch this anymore. Going forward, it should just be a matter of us editing this. And it's gonna be a little annoying for me that these are standalone while these are all like this, but I'm just going to start moving these underscore elements to their own section of the payload so that anything that is a content type is above the fold, and then anything that is a single element can go here in its own below the fold error. So I'll call these elements, individual elements, and then I'll call these individual. I won't even say individual, right? I'll just say documents and elements. And I think the way Sanity denotes these are content types versus documents, but that's kind of confusing. So I'm going to just call these elements and documents. So elements appear in a document, and then a document is the overarching container. Okay, let's go back to the browser. And then come here over to our story elements. Let's go here now. Gallery still isn't showing up. So, oh, I think I know what we're missing. If we come back over to the IDE, we never added the gallery to the story element list, right? All we have here right now is the CTA and the image element. So we'll say under CTA, there can be a gallery. We actually don't have an image element that we need to worry about, so I don't think that's a real one. But if we go back over to shared elements here, it looks like the next one that we're on the hook for is media. So we could do something with that. We could probably play around with that. We'll see. All right, so let's go back to the browser. And now let's see if our gallery is available, which it is. And now we add it, we get this new form editing experience, right? So we'll put a title. We'll call this the, let's say this is going to be a Mortal Kombat. Wait, no. I know what this can be. This can be the Combo Junkie promo gallery, right? Because we have a bunch of promo we can use. Over the course of this stream's history, we've created many amazing and high quality promo images. You can check some of them out in this gallery. All right, so we're going to use Grammarly to make our text correct. And now we have this images array here, right? So the gallery metadata has been populated, and now we have this images array. Another thing I'm starting to notice that I don't like is that I can't see that there's more fields down here because these are so big, right? So I wonder if we can add an inner, I wonder if we can add an inner, like a nested tab experience here where we group these into field sets, right? So let's play around with that. Let's see if it's as simple as it was for the grouping. Because I know field sets is another option. So let's find our gallery, which is here. And here are our fields. Let's see if we do field sets. I believe it's going to be an array of objects where the name is the tab. That's my thought. So I'm going to call this first one content, just like we did above. And the second one is going to be images, because it's only just going to be that one images array. And then I think maybe here it's the field, the individual field set, just like it was the individual group at the bigger layer, right? So now we have a content field set here, and then now I'll do my field set of images here, and I believe that's going to give us what we want. Let's go back to the browser. I believe that's going to do it, right? So if we go story elements again, we go to the gallery. Okay, so it just tucks it. It doesn't do what we want, right? It just tucks it here. So let's change the word field set to groups and group respectively and see if that does it, right? See if we can get away with using the exact same syntax as we used on that that parent. So if we go back to field sets, change this to groups, and then we come down to field set. I'll just do D here a few times because we should only have one. We can change those to group singular. I'll go ahead and save that. Didn't get any errors, so I don't think that key was missing. Now if we come here, click on our gallery, and there we go, right? So that's, man, that hats off to the Sanity development team, okay? Like, it doesn't matter where you are. All of their tools are going to work the same, very intuitive, simple way, regardless. I think that's so cool. I think that's so awesome that that works out of the box. No conflicts with anything else. Flawless. Great work here, guys. Okay, so now for images, we're going to add maybe 3 images, right? And I'm going to upload the photo first because I don't know what I did for promo. To be honest, there was quite a bit in the general. So here's a really cool one where it's brother versus brother, and MK1 face off. Facebook face off. I think face off is like hyphenated. Brother v brother match, and then the caption is check out the action. I'll say this promo for the brother v versus brother Sub-Zero versus brother Dina, MK Mortal Kombat 1 Showdown. It was a lot of fun. All right, there's one image, and then when we save this, we should get that beautiful preview, right? So if we ever wanted to see what images were in our gallery, we can always click into it and go over to the images tab, and we'll get this beautiful laydown of the images, right? Because we have that preview in place. So the next one I'll use is this. Let's just pick maybe a Diablo one. I know we have. Yeah, here we go. So let's say Diablo action with combo donkey, right? Something simple. Alt text is gonna be Diablo 4 live stream. I'll say back when Diablo 4 was still hot, no pun intended, LOL. We need a comma there. We are being grammatically sound. Okay, back when Diablo 4 was still hot, you could catch us in the Junkyard weeknights from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. CST. Not so much these days, as Diablo 4 is colder than Sub-Zero. Alright, so that looks good. It looks like the proper way to do times are 7 space and then the meridian value. Okay, so then not so much these are. Okay, cool. So we'll bold Diablo just to show that we are HTML'd out here. And then I think we're good there for this image. We should be able to close that. And now we see that that image came through. We have our content. I think our gallery is officially done, right? So we have created a gallery. Let's move on to the next content type. Media. Media. So media is just going to be the ability to add either a video or a photo, an image, right? It's going to be one or the other. We're not going to allow you to add both of those like together. If you want to add a different piece of media, you'll have to create a different item. So we'll make sure we limit this to just one. But this will be an array of those two types, right? Image element and this is the second time we've done this. So I think that what we need is something called a media element, because look at this, watch this, right? If we go to featured media, that's all featured media is. Featured media is an array of media, which media is a title, a description, and an array of either image or video. So we're going to change that now. What we're going to do is media is going to be a constant. It's going to be called media element. Okay, let's define our type. It's going to have a name of, was I doing titles in here? Why am I doing titles in here? Okay, yeah, we have to do titles because underscore element always needs to be appended to these. So Actually, I need to explain that one more time. I keep doing this. Okay, so what I was saying though is that the featured media block here, I need the exact same thing for the media that I want to allow folks to use on the story. Right? So in the featured media, basically for featured media, you add a title, a description, and choose between either an image or a video. And for the story element of media, it's the same thing. So then we should be sharing that element across the board. We shouldn't have to keep defining that object. So what we're going to do is we're going to give it a title of media. We're going to say that the name is media element. It is going to be a type of object. And I am going to borrow what we did here, right? Because we already figured this out. So I'm going to say whatever fields we added here, I'm okay with. We're going to take those and we are going to pop them right over here. Okay, so now there are fields here for the media that we add, and they point to exactly what we want, right? The image element and the video element. And I have to make sure that you can only select one item here. So we need to find out, how do you make it so that you can only select one item from an array type? So before we save this and clear out those errors, let's just go back to the browser. And let's see in the Sanity documentation for the array type, how do you say that I only want one item? So I think it's going to be something like max value or something like that. Options, validation. Here we go. Here we go. Validation. Max number of elements in the array. So we can use max, right? So let's just look at an example of this. Pretty sure it's going to be as simple as adding the word max under validation. This max. Yeah, this is easy to do. I don't need to see an example of that. I'm pretty sure I understand how to do it. So they're saying right here, video hasn't been added to the shared resources here, but wait, image was? Yeah, no, I haven't added either of those, so I think that's a false positive there. But yeah, we need both. We need these here, right? And then we can get rid of newspaper here, but that also means that we can get rid of image and video here. Now we're not going to be using it here anymore, right? So we're going to be using newspaper, but image and video we're going to lean on the media type, right? We're going to have a media element now that will feed these. So we don't need any of this, right? All we need is our group, media element, boom, done. And now coming back here, back to our shared element, we now have these two, which we need. So we'll go back down here. The errors should be gone. Where is our media element? Here's our media element. And boom, errors are gone, right? So now here for validation, all we have to do is say that the rule, we'll use a little ES6 arrow here, rule.max is going to be 1. We only want you to be able to choose one item from this list. Okay? So now if we wire this up, which we have to, so we will do ABC, DFG, HI, JK, yeah, media here. Yep, and that's so much cleaner now that we only have to add the elements this way. Media goes here. We already wired it up there. Let's also wire it up here. Oh, we didn't, wait, I think, did we have it here? No, it was just media alone here. So we just need to add it here, actually. Add it down here because after G, image and video I'm going to get rid of now. We have enough dummy content to play with. Let's go back over to the browser and boom. Bob's your uncle. Somebody been saying that to me lately. I didn't understand it at first, but I get it now. It's just like, boom, there goes the dynamite kind of thing. Like, so. All right, so media has a title, a description, and it has the media items. We're also going to group these. Let's go ahead and break this up into content and media. So before we fill in the data, go back to our IDE. We are going to do exactly what we did last time, right? Go back to our shared elements. We're going to add a groups here. Groups are going to be an array of just 2 groups, right? So we have a name is going to be content. And then the name is going to be media. That's it. Those are the only groups. We'll go ahead and save that. And then now we can say that these belong to the group of content. And one thing I just want you guys to remember, right, is as we're working in this file, the share elements file, it's okay for these objects to get a little daunting. Because remember, the idea is that going forward, whenever you need to leverage them, this is all you have to do, right? So it's like our string fields from Sanity, these primitive string fields. We don't have to do a bunch of stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, under the hood, Sanity's doing a bunch of stuff for us. But on the other side, when we go to leverage that, we only have to do this. So if this needs to get a little unwieldy so we can provide the best UX for our end user, fine, right? If we need to group some things together, add a few keys, add some validation, all of that's fine as long as the end result is a clean editing experience and an easy to use system for your development team, right? So yeah, so that's what we'll do here. We'll add the last group here of media, add our comma. Let's go back to the browser and just confirm that A, we have the groupings, and then B, that we can only add either or, right? Either one image or one gallery. One video. So under media, you see now these are broken into two. Let's say this is our image media. A sample image media being added. Let's confirm we can't add a video on top of this. Okay. All right, so this is Grammarly helping us out again. Thank you. I am not a spokesperson for them. Oh, look at that! And because we had those icons on it, we even get those out of the box too, right? We did this last time where we added these cool little icons to the left of the words. So now this is just an image. So we'll go ahead and add an image. We'll say this is another promo image of Diablo 4. Rest in peace. We'll upload ourselves a Diablo 4 image here. There we go. Found one that was for a Facebook story, it looks like. And it looks like we were running a little late that night. We didn't start until 9 p.m. The stream starts at 9 p.m. I bet that was like the one that we stayed on till like 6 a.m. I remember that. This game was so much fun. And it was. All right, now if we close that and we try to add another item, let's add a video. I don't think we should be able to do this. I think it should error out. So what I want to do, so it looks like video has a video title and then the thumbnail itself has a title. Yeah, this is a lot longer. Let's just see if we can do it. Let's see if we can do it. Cause what? Wait, hang on. I feel kind of like that's not the way to do it. Cause if you're not gonna be adding more than one, is there like a list type? That's interesting. I don't know what they mean by that. Hang on, guys. Array of strings. Don't care. Uh, and I didn't see list in here either. Yeah. Array of references, references, non-references. Yeah, this is just a. This is a This is a filter example. Predefined objects. Oh, I see. So I think I get it. So like I could do type and title here. This is interesting though. I'm not sure. I may have read right past it too, but like when adding data with object to an array, each item gets assigned a persistent and unique underscore key property. This to ensure that each item can be addressed uniquely in a collaborative real-time setting. This allows one user to edit an array item while another user simultaneously orders that array, which is fine, right? That's the whole purpose. We want to be able to work together. I think the idea though is that let me just see what list is. Okay, let's start there because I don't want to get too far into this and then I be wrong, right? So let's just say this is going to be a name of list, and then this is going to be a type. Whoops, it's going to be a name of list, a type of array, and then it's going to be an array of, and let's just give it a type of string, right? And then under options, it looks like one of the things that we could do is add a list, okay? And I think that list, no, we won't use that list. Let's use this list, right? Title and value. I think that list denotes the options that we have to choose from. So here you can see I just created ourselves a dummy, like a pseudo field. We're not going to actually use this field, but I think it's an array of objects. So I'm just going to pop those in, and now I should have a list, and this should be able to tell me what those list options are going to look like after I've done my array of image and video element, right? Because the idea would be here, after of, I do options, and then I would use values. Here, let's come back over here so I can show you guys what I mean. If you look here, looks like what they're saying is if I have a custom set of objects, like this is something I named it inline, right? I just named it myself. We have a name for our fields too, right? One of them is, well, we haven't named them, but we can name them. We can name them like, you know, video or image, actually. We can name them whatever we want. And then now my underscore type has a new name to choose from here. Okay, so we're going to first see what the string array looks like if it gives us that choose one of me options. And if it does, and it allows us to choose one of these options, like choose one of these objects, then that's bingo, right? So yeah, so now the idea would be if I choose one of these, does a form pop up if it's in object mode? So let's actually test that. So let's go back over to our IDE. Let's come down to this media array, and instead of ending here, let's go with options. Let's go list. And then here, that's going to be an array, okay? And then what we'll say here is that these are now going to have names, right? So this is going to be a name of image element. I think that's fine. How about just image? No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. No, it's fine. I'll call this underscore image element. And then we'll see if we can name it the same name. I don't know how these share a relationship, if they do or at all. But we'll do name. Obviously be video element. And then now here in our list, right, we'll pull a page out of this book. Actually, we'll come back over to the browser and we'll just pull those from the docs directly, right? They had an exact example for what we wanted to do. So we'll just pull one of these out, come back over to the IDE. We'll say here, right? So instead of type of inline, it's going to be just type of image element. And then we'll call this image element. All right, we don't need an amount. I don't know what that is. And then here we'll do video element as well. Okay. And then now let's just see what that looks like, right? That's why we get to play around in this sandbox, because we can tinker, and if it doesn't work out, we can just explore some other options. But what I would hope to happen is we get to choose one item from that list, and then it opens a form experience, right? So if we go story elements, go ahead and open back up our media, scroll to the bottom. Here's our list. Now if I click one, no, not actually letting me add an element, right? But that's not what we want. So we still don't, so we technically still haven't solved our problem. Right? Well, we don't know if we haven't yet. Let's see what happens when we go and try and add this second video here. Actually, that looks awful. Let me just yeah, that's not gonna work. All right, hang on. Let's go back to the IDE first and get rid of this these options that we just added. And we'll get rid of our test list field as well. We don't need no reason to have too much code to clean up. All right, let's go back to the browser. And let's think about this. We know that we need a way to say that I have items in a list that I want to choose from, and I only want to choose one item though. So is that some kind of validation thing? Oh, here we go. Okay. This is the maximum number of elements in an array. this is the exact number of array elements to allow. I think this is going to be it, guys. I think it's length. All right, I think it's length. Do it. Alien. Alien. All right, let's go back to the browser. Now let's see if we're allowed to keep going after we've already added an element. Hopefully this is it. That kind of makes sense if this works. I get it. Okay, so remove field. Okay. We'll add an item. We'll add our image because remember this is all we wanted to add. We just want an image. And this time we'll just upload anything. We don't care this time. I'm not even going to give it the other meta. And then I want to add an item video. So it's still trying to let us do this. Let's just see if we get some kind of validation error. Okay, yeah. So we do get a validation error. And what's the error? Okay, all right. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm going to do both, though. I'm going to do a max and a length to see if I can prevent them from even being able to get to this step. Right? So I'm going to remove that. And then I want to see if I can prevent them from getting to this step. So let's go back to the IDE. Okay. And then after length of 1, before we even get to length of 1, let's do the max rule. These don't matter what order these are in. These both return back rule objects. Like they both return this, which is why you're able to chain these. They both, when they're done resolving, they return a rule object. That's how you're allowed to keep chaining these. And what this validation method expects is a rule object. So that's how that works. Okay, so let's go back to the browser. All right, and then story elements, and then let's come back to our image media. Go media, add, no, it's still letting us do it. It's still letting us do it. Must have at most 1 items. Must have exactly 1 items. I think that's redundant. I'm gonna remove the max rule. I'm gonna remove that max rule. Doesn't seem like it's serving any purpose to me, to be honest. So I'm gonna just kill it. Boom. All right, done. Okay, cool. So I think that's fine. I think that's good. Let's go back to the browser and let's add our video counterpart to that image element we added. So going back to story elements, this is our so these are our story elements here. This is our image media. So we'll go back media and then we're done here. We'll close this out and now we'll add another media item and this will be the video, right? So this is our video media. So a description for the video media element, right? As it pertains to this instance of the media on the story. And then here, we'll actually add our video. This is dealer's choice, right? This could either be a video or an image. We don't enforce that. The video media is really cool. And then we'll point to some YouTube URL. So let's actually go to, actually, now that I'm hearing, I need to go turn our chill beats back on anyway. Where are we? Where's our chill beats? See, this always happens to me. And then some of my stream is like, your stream is not having sound because some of the beats you chose was were copyrighted. And that's because the playlist that I'm on, not playlist, but the YouTube page that I'm on, for some reason, it just keeps going. It keeps going to the next. Instead of chill beats, it goes to Forgotten Forest or some BS, like Cozy Vibes or something. It's just whatever it isn't free. So they shut me down. What do you think you're doing? Okay. All right. Wait. Looks like I got some chats here. Okay. I have no idea. Anywho, how do you get rid of? Thank you. It's been that same thing. I've had the same chat bubble on my screen for ages. It's so annoying. Okay, anyway, let's turn the chill beats back on and let's use this as our embed URL. Our studio. So we'll use this. Now we'll have a thumbnail. So we'll say check out these cool beats. They are chill. No, that'll be in the alt text or something like that. Alright, and then surprise, we really won't use that poster. And then we'll say, for the alt text, we'll say, beats are pretty chill. And then for the caption, have you ever heard beats this chill? Didn't think so. Okay. And then for the transcript, we'll just, because there's no words, right? So we'll just say, Badoop, 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 doop, doop. I don't know. And we'll just steal their description. Because remember, that was the image caption. We need to clean this up. There's a lot going on in video, right? There's going to be video, there's going to be content, which is the title and the URL. There's going to be thumbnail, which is this whole thing. And then actually transcript and description can go. So I'm going to have a content one, then a video one where, yeah, let's clean this up, guys. So, all right, we have everything we need for video anyway. I think we're good there. So there's a couple things we need to clean up, right? The previews look horrible. I don't know which story element each of these are, so we need some icons here. The video needs to be sorted. That's another one. So I'm going to actually add that to the Jira ticket. So we'll add another comment that's basically a replica of this, right? So we'll save that. We'll add one more comment here. This is just for record keeping, right? So decided the video editing experience was too lengthy, so introduce the following sections. We're going to introduce content, we're going to introduce thumbnail, we're going to introduce video, so video should actually go before thumbnail. We'll do content, video, thumbnail, and I think that might be it. Okay, and then just going back to that UI, make sure if we look at video, what we were saying is in the video itself, we want this to be video content. No, this is going to be just content. This is going to be video. This is going to be thumbnail. This is going to be video. Transcript is part of video, and this description is going to be content. Okay, so we do only have 3 sections to worry about. Hey, sorry for bothering you. I wanted to offer a promotion. Your channel, viewers, followers, views, chat bots. The price is lower than any competitor. Oh, nice. At least I have someone looking at my videos, even though it's a ad bot. All right, going back to the IDE. Let's first tackle the. What did we say we were gonna do? Hang on. What did I say we were gonna do? I said we're gonna do preview. Preview is gonna be harder. So for now, let's tackle the video element having some kind of grouping. Okay. So when you click on that, we know we want title and description to go together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flatten all these objects so they're easy to read. And there is my description there. So we're going to pull that up with title. So it's next to each other when we sort them. Video URL is going to be next to transcript. Go. And then thumbnail is going to be in a swim lane of its own. Right? So we'll say groups. All right, groups are going to be as follows. We'll have a name of content. We'll have a name of video. And then we'll have a name of thumbnail. Okay. Yeah, do that. And then now, start adding our group. Right, and then getting kind of lengthy to try and fit it all in one thing. So let's go ahead and blow it out. All right, rather these be blown out and easy to read than everything trying to be all cute, stacked on one line. You can barely understand what's happening. All right, transcript. Now that it has a group, also gets out. Okay. Okay, and then the group here is going to be video. And I'm actually going to put video URL above. Oh, it already is. I just skipped it. Okay. Yeah, because the group here needs to be video. This is all things that are directly tied to the video. I mean, eventually we'll do things like SRT files. We'll do things like allowing you to upload a video file yourself so that you can pass it through some other players. For now, we only have 2 things in there, but it's good to group everything video specific in the same group. So we'll just add these to the video tab. And then for thumbnail, it'll be in a swim lane of its own. There's only 3 items here. I'm okay with 3 items here, so this will be just fun. All right, let's go ahead and save that. Go back to the browser and see how we did. Time is it? Oh, it's still early. They have an hour and a half to get through NextJS. All right, so going back to media, we now have video, and we have these all tabbed up. Okay, so now it's going to be a lot easier to consume these when we're just trying to focus on the things that we're interested in. Now, obviously, if you're reviewing content and you just want to see everything, you can do that too. But it's going to be a lot more likely that we are just looking to change the caption. So we'll go video. I mean, sorry, not caption, but the transcript. So we'll go video, and then boom, transcript field right there. Or we're just changing the caption on the thumbnail. Go to the thumbnail tab, boom, caption field right here, right? So there's that. Now let's do something about these icons. I think we need better icons, but wait, let's first make sure that we are done with our new shared elements. I don't know if we're done yet. So I am gonna do, no, I think it's control K0, there we go. Okay, so now this collapses everything for you. And yeah, we are done. Media was the last one. So we now have support for a CTA, a gallery, and media. And of course we had already had text blocks. So let's go back to the browser and just confirm confirm that that's all we were interested in. I honestly can't remember. Media, text block, gallery, and CTA. That's right. Okay. Well, beans. We are done then. Let me make sure text block was actually added before. I don't think text block was. Okay, yeah, text block was not actually added, guys. We still have to do text block, but it's the easiest one of all, trust me. It's literally the easiest one of all. Text element is really just a fancy array of HTML blocks, right? But what we'll say, yeah, that's fine, that's fine. Let's just get it over with. It's really easy. Eventually we'll be able to do things like manipulate what specific data can get fed into those blocks. Like, for example, what HTML tags do I want to allow? Right? If I want to allow HTML tags, do I want to allow embedding imagery, right? Or links? Do I want to do something special with the links that get added in there? So there's some cool things you could do with that I saw on a tutorial once, but we're not there, right? We're still in these very baby phases. We're just gonna say text element equals define type, right? And then we'll do a title of text, a name of text element, a type of, this is actually going to be a type of array, right? And this is going to be a array of blocks. All right, and then that should do it for the text element. Let's go ahead and wire that up. Yep, comes here, so text element. Okay, and then under story here, just want to make sure that one of the one of the items under media, yeah, it's going to be text here. That's the very last thing on the list. All right, and then now going back to the browser, we should actually be able to identify that that new text block. All right, cannot read property of map. Maybe that. Oh wait, that needs fields, doesn't it? Don't think it works that way. Go back to the IDE. I can't just supply the type there, shared elements, right? I have to actually call out the fields that are a part of it. So this is actually going to be a type of object, and then it's going to be fields, just one field, right? It's going to be called name of text, and then a type. Oops, hang on. Actually gonna out a bit because this needs to be a type of array, and it needs to be an array of type of block. This is how you set that up. And now this is what's going to allow us to have an individual type that you can choose from, but it's going to be the block type that we're all used to anyway. It's going to be that text block. Let's go back to the browser. We should see that that error goes away, which it did. Now if we go over to the story element, let's go see in our list here, we now have the text element that we can add, and you can see here it's literally just that one text block. right? So I can add as much text as I want here. And we're gonna actually build out one of the real stories after this. That's how we're gonna validate this ticket. We're not gonna build out the real gallery, I don't think. I'll do that maybe another night. But yeah, we want to at least play around with one of these stories at some point. But yeah, so I'll say this is some rich text. And then the way we'll know it's rich text is we'll bold this. And then we'll add a, if you want to learn more about rich text and how it works, check out the link below. And then, right, so then here, we'll say something like rich text. Okay, and then we'll just copy. No, we want that. That's going to be really weird. Here we go. Let's go to contentful. All right, we'll just use this contentful link. I think you can just paste over this. Nope, guess not. Mechanical. Okay, there's the URL. All right, now we have a hyperlink in there. We'll go ahead and close that out. And boom. So now we have all that. The next thing we want to do is add our icons for the different types that we have. The beautiful thing is we only have 4 types. We already know we're going to be using Lucide for our types, right? So we have, let's do just icons. Oh no, there we go. So what are the types we have? Let's go back to let's go back to the content model. So we have media in general, which is either a video or, hopefully they have some for media. So what do you think when you hear media? I always think Windows Media Player, honestly. So something that looks like media, what would that be? Is that just like a computer? I remember the film strips back in the day used to denote multimedia, but maybe it's something like this, right? I think I'm gonna go with this. I think that this could be media. The image plus icon, right? This doesn't feel like it's only imagery, but that would also look good for gallery, wouldn't it? All right, let's come back to media. Let's start with gallery. Yeah, of course, right? All right, so we're gonna use book image for gallery. Copy that JSX. I'm just saving these over here in the IDE. Gallery, and then we have the text block, which, yep, right, looks like that, right? Text kind of always looks like that in our world. So let's save that here. Okay, and then text was one, and then CTA. So it's more like a link, right? Yeah, like a link. So we'll just do this for CTA. And then now going back to gallery, I think we can get away with I mean, not gallery, coming back to media. So maybe I'll do multimedia. I did not think this would be this like tough to find something that fits it. Maybe this works. Maybe the clapper board works. Yeah, for now we'll use the clapper board. That feels right. Yep, we'll use the clapper board. All right, going back over to the IDE, now we need to wire these up into our elements so that when these are chosen, that, like, for example, if someone chooses a text element, that the icon that gets displayed to the left of it, if we go back to the browser, so you see what I'm referring to, the icon that gets displayed here, instead of this default document paper, it's the icon of the text or the icon of multimedia or a gallery icon, etc. So let's wire those up. That should be really cool. We'll come back over to the IDE. We'll go to the import statements at the top. We already have Lucide in here, so we'll come here. We just need to add the rest of these. So we need to add book image, B, and I'll blow this out. I'm just gonna move these up. C goes after B, T over B, and then there. So then here I can just D, and then here I can do D. All right, and then whoops, commas there, all of them. Now I'll get rid of that. Okay, and now we can just use them, right? So CTA, this the icon here is gonna be a link. then for a gallery, this is going to be book image. And you'll notice I'm not using quotes. That's because these are direct imports. So these are like the pieces of JS that I'm importing from here. And every time I use one, you'll see it goes from that like opaque kind of blue to the like actual sky blue, meaning that it's actually being used somewhere in this document. Okay. So the clapperboard we said was going to be the multimedia. So let me just go straight down to media because I'll never remember that. Icon, and then that's clapperboard, and then the text element was just going to be text. All right, and I think we got them all. Make sure that we don't have any missing ones. We got CTA. We got gallery. That's the book image. We got image. No, we don't have image element. But the question is, do we need to? No, we have a preview. We have a full-blown preview for image element, right? Because we want that to show the actual image. And then for video, I think we did the same thing for video. Yeah, where we have an actual preview where it's showing the image file. Okay. So we're good there. So text element, we're good there as well. Media element, we're good there as well. Now when we save this, if we head back over to the browser, magically all of those elements that we have in line should now be populated with their respective icons, right? So there's the icon that denotes a CTA, which is this guy here. We have the gallery icon here. We have this guy right there, whatever, this clapper icon for media, and then we have the text icon. Another thing you might want to do is for some of these that have guaranteed imagery in them. So like for example, for a gallery, you'll need to add at least one image. That's like some validation that we should add later. What you might want to do is peruse through that array and pluck out the first image. Right? So like instead of using this kind of vague icon here, you can just have the word gallery prepended to the front of this gallery and then use an image here. It looks so much better, right? And the same for these clappers, right? Instead of this generic clapper icon, what if it was the first image here or the video thumbnail? And then to denote that this is an image, you'd have the text image here. And to denote that this is a video, you'd have the word video here. Right, so just really cool preview things that we can play around with. For now, I think this looks just fine for what we're doing. And this kind of makes up our story. Let's make sure we can move these around. That's right, we can. We can move them in any order we want. We can duplicate them, which is fantastic. Oh, that is awesome. I didn't know you could do that. Oh, that is so good. Oh, let's do this gallery because we had like so many images. And oh, look how fast that was. Oh, that's so good. Let's change the name. Oh my God. Oh, this is so awesome. I love this system, guys. This system just makes me so happy. Let's duplicate this guy too. And then let's pull him all the way down to the bottom. Let's say this is our final paragraph. If we wanted to change the text up, we could. That is so neat. All right, and now we have everything we need. This is edited just now, not published, and it's not publishable, meaning that there's something else going wrong, which is here. Yeah, not valid for this list because we made some changes there. Let's remove these. Remember, we made some changes. Let's go back to media and see what they're really complaining about. So these are the featured media items, and now we want to make sure that our featured media item is a single image. We'll say. This is going to be this is this guy, right? So we probably should go actually find him on the web, right? That use the image from the Guardian. They won't mind. That's an awesome image too. Open image in new tab. You guys can't see I have a menu here, an overlay menu. When I right click, you guys can't see that, which is a really helpful feature in OBS sharing because it kind of guarantees that I'm not oversharing any files or directories on my machine. I really love that feature. Anyway, that was a lot. Let's just go to the desktop for this. I'm going to get rid of this. I don't even think this is a compatible image type. What the heck image type was that? AVIF? Is that legit? Let's see. Don't do this. Don't do this to me. desktop image. I just saw it. Yeah, it's not even showing up. It's not even like one of the available images I can choose from. That's so funny. That's hilarious. Alright, I'll use this Street Fighter. Oh, can't use that either. Alright, we're gonna have to go through the junkyard. Gonna have to go through the junkyard. I got some really cool pictures. We're gonna do a ladies' night. That was a picture that I'm really proud of doing, but ladies' night never happened, so that would have been super dope. Just say, True Detective plays MK1 for the first time. True Detective. This is just the alt text. True Detective 1. And then I wonder what it would look like if a true detective played a true combatant. What do they not like? All right. Okay, cool. So the media works. I think. Am I gonna be limited here? I don't know. I'm not gonna test that right now. We'll just publish this. Now we have some content that has everything in it that we need, and it looks like there's a syncing issue. So tight when the document sync happens right after. Say okay. So that. Okay, there it is. So there was some synchronization happening. Oh, and it warned us about all of that too. The other CMSs I use usually just say, oh, you hit save, good luck. Like, I hope everything worked out. Okay, so we can go ahead and close this stuff now. I think we are ready to commit our code to the code base. Let's do another just review of what we changed, make some notes. You guys know how I like to do it. So in index.ts, we just use this document here. We updated index to be more reader dev friendly. Added new story elements as shared elements, and these should all have periods behind them. That's just kind of the corporate doing it. I think that's fine for now. Under shared elements, we can specify which elements we added, right? We added the CTA, added CTA, CTA, gallery, media, and text elements, right? We also moved featured changed featured for story to leverage element. Okay, and then last but not least, there was some stuff on tag. Resolved duplicate field issue tag content type. Okay, there's that. Everything looks good. I'm gonna start staging these changes. I'm adding this little plus icon here. I'm gonna go through all these though, make sure that we didn't miss anything. Added our group. Oh yeah. Grouped story, and video fields. Moved story, media, and video fields into more organized. Okay. That's fine. So now go back to story. We see that we have the groupings done. Yep, that looks good. Okay, we also uncommented out various validators in tag and story content types. Okay, let's stop using content type document types. Set the index to be add a new story element or share element, CCA gallery, yep. And feature media for story to leverage the media element, yep. Resolve duplicate field issue on tag, nope. Story, media, and video fields into organized group. And comment out various validators and tag. That's proper now, remember. and story document types. Okay. What else we doing here? Nope. Here. For the tag, we put the error. All right. So now we can come out of our, going back to our browser, right? We can come out of this beautiful UI that we've built. Now we have a very awesome user interface for adding and manipulating content. This is really exciting. I'm actually going to move story elements to just after content. I think the first thing you do when you come here is you would start populating these title, subtitle, whatever. Then after that, you start constructing your, I might even put featured media. I might just call this featured media and put that just before content. I mean, story elements. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So let's go back to story. Let's actually say this is going to be a name of media, but a title of... Nah, I don't need to make a title of featured media. Let's just call it featured media. And then let's say that the media group is now featured media, but the order of this is going to be first you do your content, then you do your featured media, then you populate your story elements, and then you fill out any additional metadata, whether it's tagging related, authors, whatever. Okay, so there's that. I think that's fine. And then yeah, so now yeah, all right, so let's actually bring down. I'm going to just make sure, I'm going to spot check that if I click through any broken experiences, it's going to spot check all of these real quick. Get any of this code. Yep, so we have content, feature, story elements. This is the thing that makes up your story, and then metadata, right? Oh, that's good. Tags, let's make sure that that doesn't break. We have no sorting on this, but everything looks good. All right, so now going back to the IDE, we are ready to shut down our local environment, and it's time to push this code up, right? So we've already pulled down the latest code base. Now we have some changes. Let's make sure we're on the branch that we would expect. We are. We're on this trend junkie 10 build story elements. So we're gonna do a commit. We're gonna do a git commit, and the message is gonna be to this branch, right? I'm gonna copy that, paste that. Going to be to this PR, I mean this ticket in Jira. It's going to be trend junkie 10, and we'll say completed creation of all content types and elements. Okay, because that's all we did. We just completed that. Now all the other notes are going to go into PR, right? So let's go ahead and hit return there. What didn't they like about that? Oh, wait, that's not right. Uppercase M, it should be a lowercase m for message. All right, there we go. All right, now it says that it pushed all those, checked all those files in, and now I just need to push them up to the remote server. Done. Now we can head back over to the browser, go to GitHub, and start moving things along the pipe, right? So we'll come here to our code. Actually, we could have just branches for that, but that's okay. Go to this branches tab. Let's click this branch right here, and we can see already that we have changes that just got pushed. We'll go ahead and do a compare against develop. Remember, we always push our code into develop first. And before I do anything else, I just want to go through the commits and make sure that these are the changes that I would expect, right? So remember we did that. We added the elements there. That looks good. Yep, we did this stuff here. That looks good. The CTA. Yep, this looks good. This is the stuff we added for CTA. That looks good. We added a gallery as well. We added the media component. We added our text block. Yep, so that looks good as well. We push things into groups there. We have the story changes, tags. I think it's the last one on the list, right? Yep, fixing their in tags. All right, so I think we are good to push this out. Let's first get our notes that we took in the IDE as we committed each file. We added a bunch of notes, and we just want to have a message for anyone coming behind us to see in the UI, right? We want somebody to be able to go through and say, like, what was this PR specifically contributing to? So we'll say these things that we've already reread, so we don't need to proof them again. Now we can create the PR. Okay, remember we talked last week how there's going to be some DevOps-y things that we need to do. We're not there yet. We're going to skip those. The main thing is that we have no conflicts in our branch, and we are ready to squash and merge these changes. Okay, So I'm gonna do a I do squash and merge, but I'm starting to wonder if I should just be doing rebase and merge. That's okay. I'm gonna keep doing squash and merge. When we did it last time, though, what happened was yeah, no, confirm squash and merge. What happened was we ended up having to do some merge conflicts against the main branch, which I really hate seeing stuff like that. Like, that's not a good... I mean, I hope it's not something that we always have to worry about, but... So the next thing you would do is go back to your code, and this time you go to the develop branch. Right? So it says develop had recent pushes, right? You compare those. This time you are comparing these to main, and you just want to make sure that it's only the stuff that we just changed. Now, traditionally, you wouldn't do it this way. Traditionally, the way you would do it is you would do all of these changes to the main branch together. So far in this sprint, I've done quite a few tickets, right? We go back to my actual board. We've done all these tickets, and we just wrapped up story elements too. That code's merged now. So we've done all these tickets. Normally you would review all of these changes at once, and then once all of those changes are done, then you would do the step that I'm doing now where I'm merging develop back into main. But we've been kind of doing it a little loosey-goosey. That's okay. I'm not too much worried about it. There are a lot of changes here that yeah, see, these are we're gonna get slapped for yeah, let me copy issue link. I like to keep merging changes from both. Alright, create the pull request. Gonna probably get some merge conflicts. Yeah, conflicts that must be merged. So I'm gonna go resolve conflicts, and these are our changes that we just made that we'll need to fix. So what I'm gonna do, there's an easy way to do this, and I can never remember how to do it. But I think it's if we do a git checkout develop, and then do a git pull, I think we might get no wait, it's I think it's git pull origin main. Right? Because now it should be like, hey, we tried to pull. Alright, this is maybe I need to do rebase or no rebase, I mean. Okay. And then yeah, so now we have all these merge conflicts. Perfect. So this is what we want. This is what we want. So here we'll accept the current change. And then here we'll also accept the current change. Now this file looks exactly like we would expect, right? So this is us merging into main, but saying, hey, there's a bunch of changes that you just told me about. Do you want me to skip them or do you want to add them? And we can add them. So I'm gonna add the current changes here. These are the things that were on the develop branch, but not on main. Right, so like for this one, oh, like we added the text element, yeah. So we'll accept the current change there. We can really accept all these. Cannot redeclare this scope, so we must have two video elements, yeah. And only one of these is from today. But it's gonna be which one? Yeah, let's do this. Ah! Hang on. Yeah, first let me share my IDE. I hate that I do that so often. But we were going through, we just did the git pull origin main. It shows us everything that has a merge conflict. And then this file here has two variations of the video element. I don't like that. They're both an object. They both have field. Oh, one that has the groups. That's the new one. The new one is the one with the groups. I'll have to go through them. All right, so that error is gone. We can go ahead and save this. We know this is new. The current change here for the things. Yep, we have a bunch of new groups being added to all of these. All going to be the current change. Let's see here. This is definitely a current change. This is our story elements field. And let's actually, no, we don't want to do that now, but tomorrow, or yeah, we'll be streaming tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be moving that into the right region. That needs to go where it belongs. All right, the of there, the validation here. And then now let's fix these as well. So we said that we only wanted newspaper in this one. Go ahead and save that. Now tag has 3 conflicts. We know what those are. This is going to be the removal of that additional slug field that we added, right? We had a duplicate slug field. So that's just us getting rid of that. We only... Okay. All right, we got title slug. Actually, titles. Subtitle, image description, and the okay, cool. So I think we're good with all of these. We can go ahead and stage all of them now. And then shared elements. What's in shared elements? No, I'll do git commit. What is it? ER. No, this is git commit. Oh yeah, we have a DevOps ticket that we attach these to, don't we? So if we go back to the browser, I created us a DevOps ticket that will always attach these to. It's actually an Epic. Yeah, so trend junkie 33. Oh, 8. So if we come back here, we can say 8. And then merges, develop, changes per, what was that? Per, 10, per 10. All right. There we go. And then now, if we come back over to GitHub, so I just pushed those in my local environment. But if we come back over to GitHub, you can say that the branch has no conflicts with the base anymore. So this is develop, right? This is our develop branch. We just cleaned up all those merge conflicts, and now we can go ahead and do our squash, right? Confirm squash and merge. Squash and merge actually makes more sense to me going back into main than it does going back into develop. But we'll just have to keep in mind that whatever we do in the develop branch will eventually need to get merged back into main, and there will be conflicts. So we can't have these huge, massive PRs laying around, which is going to be a little complicated when you think about it. Because one of these changes, like the one we're about to do in a second, that is us going to be, that's going to be us installing the whole NextJS package. But yeah, we'll need to play around with that. And then next week, I think once we get this, so we can move this to done. Okay, we only have one more ticket now, and it's in progress. But next week, we really have to figure out... oh, and I already did this. I uploaded the intro video to YouTube before. Oh, so, but next week, guys, we need to figure out Vercel. Because right now, we are just winging it. We're assuming that every time we push code to the develop branch, that everything's working just fine, right? Like how do... We really don't know. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. Okay, I'm going to take a small break. I will be back very shortly, guys. Don't go anywhere. I will be back before you know it. And we'll move on to the much more fun portion of this night where we will be trying our best to install NextJS and wire everything up so that it's actually respecting and listening to our Sanity.io content management system. All right, be right back. All right. What is happening to my monitor over here? Something is going haywire with it. That looks really weird. Wow, that is really weird looking. It has a whole bunch of lines going through it. I am not sure what's happening there. It's not happening with my other monitor. I am afraid to disconnect. Let's restart it. That fixes it. It's not that bad. It's just some lines going through it, but I don't think that's supposed to be happening. And we'll just turn it off, turn it back on. The good old tried and true. Yeah, that doesn't look like it's happening on the default splash screen. If it powers back up. There we go. Oh, and it fixed it. Great. Look at that. Old school methods sometimes do work, okay? All right, so let's head over to the main stage. We got to talk a little bit. Okay, we got to have a little chat. Got to have a little one-on-one, okay? I'm going to step into my office, okay? I want to have a one-on-one with my tech lead. Get over here. Get over here. Okay, so what we've done so far, head over to the browser, is we have completed our first batch of tickets required to kind of get started with Sanity.io, NextJS, and Vercel. However, we have a very big missing piece, right? If you guys remember early on, we ran into an issue where we were using this starter kit that had Sanity and NextJS built together already. It was out of the box. It was great. However, the way we had it set up, it was using a very old version of the Sanity UI. So that came with a bunch of load issues that we just kept having to fight with, right? We kept struggling dealing with these load issues. So we ended up saying, you know what, let's scrap NextJS for now, and let's just build ourselves the latest version of the Sanity.io ecosystem. Okay, so the content management system, which is what we have here now. This is really fast. All the bells and whistles are in place. We were able to do everything we needed to do. We saw all the reloads happening. We were very much error-free in the console. That is all fine and dandy, tech lead. But now it's time to move on to the second part of this project, right? The website is not a website unless you can deliver me a front-end experience. And we agreed that you were going to do that through the NextJS platform, right? So I could have sworn we added... Oh no, where did we add this? I could have sworn we added the description to this. Did I add it to the wrong ticket? I hope so, because that would at least mean it's still there. Just gonna look through these real quick. If I look through the VOD, I'm pretty sure I could find it. Darn. That is very annoying. I must have had the wrong thing selected when I did this. That's fine. That's okay. I'm not going to worry about it. I don't know where I added that. It's going to be in here somewhere, but we'll just re-add that scope, right? So as I'm talking to you right now... Oh, there it is. It just we never saved it. Thank God. Okay, so let's review this. Let's go ahead and save it. Okay, so we need to use npm to grab the latest Next.js package, and then we need to do some discovery through the documentation to figure out, first off, how do you get like it set up? How do you make it so that like you can say hello world on the screen, okay, and start using some of the Next.js tools? That's number one. Number two is Sanity's framework of choice is Next.js, right? That was at least their first framework of choice. I think since then they've moved on to Remix or something like that. But Next.js is one of their frameworks of choice, right? It was their first framework of choice, if I'm not mistaken. So they have to have some pretty robust documentation around how to configure Next.js and Sanity to work together. So we could either look at this from the Next.js side of the fence, where there's some Next.js documents that will help us out, or we can look at it from the Sanity side of the fence, right? So that's going to be up to you, tech lead, however you want to do it. So that means that our code base now has Next.js enabled, and we have a hello world template. something that can act as a sort of starting point for us. And in some way, I don't care how, it can even just be in the console, prove to me that you are connected to our sanity.io instance. Okay? And then as a bonus point, I don't want to have to load up npm dev for two different listeners, right? Two different web servers. Ideally, I want this same npm project that we're running Sanity on to include our Next.js application inside it. Okay? All right. Thank you for your time. I'll see you at the end of the sprint. We'll talk about how you achieved all these goals. Okay? Meeting adjourned, right? Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to get this ticket started. I'm going to create us a branch. Okay, this is going to be our kind of Next.js branch. We'll branch it from develop, okay, which is our latest code right now that we've deployed. That should also be in main, so they should be identical, but there will be some conflicts that we'll have to suss out. I need to figure out why that keeps happening. I don't think that's supposed to happen. I think since we're just merging things back in, I don't know. I have to figure that out. Maybe I should be basing from... Maybe I should be creating my branch from main. No, that wouldn't make sense. I was thinking maybe I should create my branch from main and then push that into develop. But then I'll just have those merge conflicts. It doesn't matter. Let's just keep doing it the way we're doing it. We're starting to get really fast at it anyway. So this is our Next.js code base now. So what I want to do though for this is I want to make sure that we can continuously blow this thing away, because I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of trial and error at first. So right off the bat, right, I'm going to go back into our IDE and we are going to immediately come off of this. If we do a git branch, I believe we're on main right now. No, we're on develop. Okay, we're going to come off of develop and we're going to do a git fetch and immediately get onto our latest branch that we just created, right? So I'll do a checkout there. Okay, so we switch to the new branch. Let's go back to the browser and just make sure we move that ticket to in progress. So we can, yep, so it's in progress. That's good. Now let's go back to the IDE and let's actually, the first thing I want to do is let's shut everything down. Let's create a very clean working environment, because this is, again, this is going to be a really tough thing to do with us never have never done it before, right? Being that we've never done it before, it's going to be a little tough to just like enable this whole framework. Okay, well, let's go back to the browser. The first thing I want to do is I want to figure out if Sanity in their current documentation has like a Next.js document, right? Like something that's like get started with Next.js and Sanity today. So I'm gonna go, well, that's not right. This is just our projects. So here's a get started with Sanity. And then this is a start from template, but we don't want to get started with Sanity, right? We actually want to go over to Next.js for this, I think. We're gonna do Next.js by Vercel. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, so it looks like it's really easy to create. So I want to go to the docs. I'm going to go straight to the docs and I'm going to go getting started. All right, so let's go installation. And I wonder, is there anything in here that has to do with... So here is a automatic installation. We recommend starting a new Next.js app using this, which sets up everything automatically. Create a project, won't run, whatever. So let's see, what kind of questions are we asked here? What is your project name? My app. Would you like to use Typescript? Yes. Would you like to use ESLint? Yes. Would you like to use Tailwind CSS? Yes. Would you like to use the source directory? Yes. Would you like to use app router? Yes. Would you like to customize the default import alias? Now this one, I don't know what they're asking really. Here, let's see what they're asking here. Okay, so is this... Yeah, so this is the next app. What import alias would you like configured at whatever? I'm familiar with the concept of import alias, but I didn't know how Next expected this question to be answered. Usually I use multiple import alias. I might use at styles, at components, at hooks, etc. So I decided to experiment. I typed at components into the prompt and I got this back. Import alias must follow the pattern prefix slash. Got it. So then I tried component slash all and my app was created. I checked the tsconfig JSON, JS config JSON, and compared it to an app that used the default at. So here's the defaults, and then here's the one with components. Which I do like the idea for components to be where the aliases go, but I don't know what like that actually means for us. What came out of the test is not what I wanted. In the past, I've used a pattern like this, which allowed me to reference imports like at component slash button. Sure. Using the default whatever provided by the NextJS setup wizard allows me to do the same thing without having to explicitly set each path in whatever. I just needed to add an extra slash after the at to my import path like so. So import button at slash, yeah, this is all, hell yeah. All right, so we'll definitely be using that. And then what import, yeah, so we'll just use that. Yeah, that was good for us. And then, yeah, so I think we're going to take a stab. Okay, we're going to take a stab at, here's manual installation, and then creating directories looks pretty manual here. So we are going to just scroll down here. And then, yeah, so after you create the thing, you just run the app. Okay, so let's actually start there.